Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hugo Smokes. I'm your host, Hugo, and today I'm going to be smoking and reviewing a very special cigar, very special release. Super excited for this one. It is the Arturo Fuente 20-year Opus X, and it is in a 6 1/4 by a 49 Vitola. Arturo Fuente calls it the father and son Vitola, so let's call it that. Guess it's like a skinny Toro or something like that. But nonetheless, this is a Dominican Puro. I'm assuming with like a rosado sun-grown wrapper. There's not a lot of information on these type of cigars, you know, special toy maker blends or whatnot. But let's appreciate the very nice Colorado color wrapper you can see there. Well, let's take off the sleeve already so we can appreciate the whole thing. So, looks like a rosado wrapper to me, so I'm just gonna call it that. Very nice cap and nice enough packed foot. You can see the dark tobaccos there that are usually seen in the higher end Opus and Arturo Fuente's line. So the wrapper consistent with the higher end premium Arturo Fuente cigars for me, like just like vintage old aromas coming off of the wrapper, and some sort of like barnyard smell, and that dried chili pepper that I always get off of these premium cigars. So let's go ahead and cut it up and test the draw. Ooh, very nice draw. Again, barnyard off of the cold draw. Dampy and a little bit of a sweet type of note. So, very interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and light it up and see what we get. All right off of the startup here, very citrus forward cigar on the palate. There's some bitterness on it, and on the finish there's like a zesty component, almost like a chili on the palate that's very mild. Like a red pepper, to be exact. Interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and see what the Retrohale has to offer. The Retrohale is mildly stinging on the sinus, about a 3 to 4 out of 10 here at startup. And there's already like a sweet mixture in there of like some type of like breadiness. Very nice. Some cedar slash oak on the Retrohale as well. It's pretty woody. And definitely some white to black pepper on the Retrohales also. Already pretty, I would say, typical startup to these Opus higher end Fuentes cigars. So yeah, let me keep smoking this down past the first third, and I'll be back for my first update. Welcome back. I am at the end of the first third of this 20-year. As you can see, the burn line is super wonky, super wavy, but it's fine. Burning pretty good still. The ash accidentally fell in the middle, but you can see it was nice and stacked, and still producing lots of smoke here at the end of the first third. So here at the end of the first third, actually in the middle, transition into a dry walnut nuttiness and a secondary cinnamon nutmeg spice on the palate as well, and some zesty oak on the very long finish. The retrohale is still a little bit bready. However, the main note now is like a red black pepper spice that's quite stingy now, quite increased to like about a 6 to 7 out of 10. So definitely more fuller, more strength on this cigar here at the end of the first third. Again, pretty typical of these limited release higher end Opuses and Fuente cigars, in my experience at least. So I don't know if you want this to be your first cigar of the day, to be honest with you. I mean, it's manageable, but I mean, it's just a little bit more bolder, spicier than I anticipated myself. So that's pretty much all I'm getting here at the end of the first third. Let me keep smoking this down past the second third, probably right into the secondary band, and I'll be back for my next update. Welcome back. I am at the end of the second third of this 20 año. As you can see, the ash is nice and stacked. Very nice construction on this cigar. Burn line's a little bit wonky. Might have to touch it up here after this take. But still producing a very good amount of smoke and breathing nicely through the cap still. But here in the second third, the main note on the palate is a cumin spice. Secondary and almost primary note as well is a walnut note, continuing from the first third. That type of walnut that's nutty and also drawing out the palate as well. And as a secondary and undertone is a medicinal cherry that's perceivable on the long finish as well. On the retrohale, still getting that red black pepper spice mix that's quite stinging on the sinus. Still about like a 6 to 7 out of 10 depending on your tolerance. Definitely some Dominican funk as a secondary tone, quite perceivable on the long finish as well, and some oak that's a little bit floral. And that's pretty much all I'm getting here at the end of the second third. So I mean, it's kind of like a typical, premium Fuente cigar here. Nice array of flavors. Definitely medium to full strength, more leaning towards like the full strength and body, in my opinion. By the way, obviously you guys know that it's a Dominican Puro, but the tobaccos come from the Chateau de la Fuente, the Fuente farm in the DR. So just kind of wanted to share that with you, but you probably already knew that. So let me continue smoking this down past the last third as far as I can, and I'll be back for my final update and closing thoughts on this Arturo Fuente 20 year. Welcome back. I am at the end of this Arturo Fuente 20 year celebration. As you can see, construction is just impeccable on this cigar. Did touch it up once, but burn line's still a little bit wavy, which is pretty typical on these Arturo Fuentes higher end cigars, to be honest with you. For some reason, I've never gotten like a razor sharp burn line on these, but that's fine. A few touch-ups is not bad. I think I had 2 touch-ups total, so not a bad deal. But here in the last third, just getting a floral bouquet on the palate, some herbal black tea note as a secondary and undertone. Still getting a little bit of that dried walnut flavor. Red and black pepper spice on the palate as well, and lots of like cinnamon spice on the palate too. So nice mixture of spices there on the palate. On the retrohale, still getting a mix of a black red pepper spice that's stinging on the sinus. Kind of came down a little bit, like a 5 to 6 out of 10, but still medium plus. Also getting still that Dominican funk on the retrohale, and a considerable amount of cedar as a undertone and secondary note. So that's pretty much all I got here at the end. The cigar has been burning for about an hour and 50 minutes. Probably have maybe 5-10 minutes more, but the MSRP on this cigar when they were released in 2016, $22.50 I believe. Current market price, like $80. So the boxes of 20 are $1,600. Again, a cigar that you want to get from a friend if they're available at their B&Ms. Definitely do not pay $80 for this cigar. So for this cigar, I bought a 5-pack sampler, which came with this one, the God's Whisper, a Julius Caesar Toro, I believe, a God of Fire Don Carlos or Carlitos, and a Between the Lines for $150. So, you know, let's say these are 35 and the God of Fire is also 35, so that's 105. So that leaves about 45 for the Julius Caesar and the Between the Lines. So I guess, you know, on average it was $30 for each cigar, so not a bad deal to experience it. Overall, pleasant experience, more on the bolder, spicier side for me. Not enough, you know, sweet or like other nutty, other than the walnut, but not like a almond nuttiness, more like a dried out on your palate type of nuttiness. So overall, medium to full bodied and also in strength. So if you like these type of cigars, you're definitely gonna like this one. For me, I would say pick up 1 or 2 if you can. I know that they're available somewhere around $35 at some B&Ms. So again, if you have a buddy that has a cool B&M, carries these type of cigars, hit them up, you know, do a trade. And so yeah, so single or double pickup for me, just based on the market price and the experience. That's my final thoughts on this cigar. If you've had this cigar, you're lucky enough to get your hands on it, you know, it's a rare cigar. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you enjoyed it or not. And as always, don't forget to catch the Stogie Society podcast on Wednesday nights at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Go ahead and link the subscribe buttons up here so you can subscribe to us and my channel as well. And I'll link some more rare cigars for your viewing pleasure. So that's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.